If it hurts, game the brakes, we'll get you, double it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win it is. Press you again, we're here for the first minute. Carry my team every 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
All I know is go Vols, because that's all I know. Go Vols!
The greatest fan base in college sports. I was looking out my hotel room last night, a bunch of orange walking around. You saw it this morning. Could feel it when we walked into the hotel yesterday. Our fans show up, they travel, they're passionate, they care 365 days out of the year. And, that's what makes this such a special place. The fan base is as good as it gets. And, it's always been a dream of mine to be a part of something that people care about, and they certainly do in a big way here.
Well, I mean, obviously, we've spent, 4 years, trying to change the culture, trying to instill in these young men how blessed they are, to have an opportunity to play somewhere like the University of Tennessee. And what an honor it is to have that T on the side of your helmet, and that we're always playing for something bigger than us individually.
I don't know. Truly, I don't know how I could answer that, because I don't know what it would take. Really, I don't know what it would be until I feel accomplished. If we win that natty, when we win that natty, then I'll say, my story's been good.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols, and my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. He's Coach Jay. I didn't even know what I was going to say on the intro. I was just kind of sitting here watching the countdown. I was like, what are we going to talk about to open the show? Man, oh man, we're 1 week away, Coach. 1 week away. Do you feel like this offseason, there's really two off seasons, right? There's the off season from January till spring practice, and then there's the off season throughout the summer. Feels like this one flew by. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the portal was so busy in January, and then we kind of had the Joey stuff dragging out, and then the next thing you know, man, it's spring camp. It's here.
It's upon us, man. It's time to rock and roll. I know the guys have been putting in a lot of hard work in the weight room. A lot of people don't realize it, man. A lot of these, spring workouts leading into spring practice, the private endos, the weight room, the track, working your tail off, throwing up in trash cans set up on the side of the field. The work that is put in that we don't see is what builds teams a lot of times. And a lot of times it's what can leave people looking stupid when they think, oh, hey, team X, team Y is going to look like trash. This team was horrible last year. They're going to be horrible this year. And then all of a sudden you've got a team that's turned everything around on them. Or all of a sudden you have a team that looked really, really good, that was young, that you think is going to peak. And then all of a sudden they come out look like trash because they didn't put the blood, sweat, and tears in. But the one mistake you never, ever, ever want to make in football is counting any one team out or counting on any one team too much, man, because if you don't put that work in, this game will make you a liar really quick.
Yeah, I don't know how you can count this team out right now. It's freaking March, right? This is, like you said, this is when you put the work in that nobody else sees. And shout out Vols for Life. I don't know if he's playing his little digitally animated games or if he's in the chat. We were kind of laughing because he's writing this team off, which that's what he does, and that's okay. You can feel how you feel, believe what you believe. But to me, Josh Heupel's always going to score points, right? Josh Heupel is going to score points. Guess what? He did it with a freshman in Nico Iamaleava. He did it with a veteran that nobody else was going to give a chance in Joey Aguilar. He did it with leftovers in Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton. Josh Heupel is just going to score points. But, Coach, what you're talking about there that gets me a little fired up and ready for spring camp is Derek Owings. And if that guy, if he's being paid $1 million for a reason, then we should be excited about the change, the way that these players are going to look between January, spring camp, and then into fall camp. And then also Jim Knowles, man. How in the world could you write off this 2026 team when you went out and you hired Jim Knowles, you went out and you hired Derek Owings, and you got Josh Heupel as the ace up the sleeve? You know he's going to score points, man. I'm excited to see what this team looks like in 2026.
I agree. I'm excited to see the next iteration of the veer and shoot. It's interesting to see how it's evolved over Josh Heupel's time. Obviously between, Nico's year with us and Joey Aguilar's year with us, they kind of brought things in more tight. They brought a little more similar pro style theme, but they really left that veer and shoot flavor in there, the system, right? The system did not change. They just made a couple little adjustments, right? A couple little tweaks, and those tweaks were huge. And I think this team's going to keep evolving in that regard, and I'm excited to see what happens. I think you'll see a mix of some of what you saw under Joey. And I also think you're going to see a little bit of some old stuff come back as well, which we'll talk about when we get into the film. And then, as you mentioned, of course, and it goes beyond Coach Knowles as well, right? It goes into guys like Coach Gardner as well, Coach Poindexter. I really like the mix we have on defense now, and I really like the mix we have on players. I know we haven't gotten to guys like Lane yet, the safety from Penn State, and Gilliam, the D tackle, and some of our breakdown follow-ups. But these guys are going to be huge for this defense. And that linebacker room, man, when you look at that linebacker room, it's looking really, really scary off the cuff with Campbell, Arian Carter, Spillman, Jaden Perlotti. I mean, you've got guys that can really pick them up and put them down and stress the defense, not only in the blitzing and not only with stopping the run, but with picking up passes as well. So it's going to be exciting to see.
Let me catch up with you guys in the chat real quick. We got almost 100 people watching live on this early March Sunday evening. Kind of an impromptu stream. Not really. Coach said, hey, man, let's break down Faison and George. And I said, if we're going to do it, let's freaking do it live. Why not? Spring camp starts in a week. Next Sunday night, Scoops and Foul Ming are going to be in the house. And we're going to do a full spring preview. Then we're going to do some pop-up live streams, all kinds of fun stuff throughout spring camp. But it is kind of short notice. So do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. That'll take you 2 seconds. Share it out, put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook. Man, I don't know what the deal is. If I put a link, I think this is just social media 101. If I put a link in a tweet, it's dead. Nobody sees it. Like when I say, hey, we're going live tonight, blah, 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 people eat it up. It gets retweeted. It gets views. And if I put a link, it's like, no, we are going to push that down. Now, Boogie, you can sign up for X Premium. No, I'm good. Thanks, Elon, but I'm good. I don't need to pay you for X Premium. So share the link out, all that good YouTube stuff. And also, Film breakdowns. What's going to happen? Going to be demonetized. Why? Because Coach wants to look at some George McIntyre tape from this past season. So we're going to look at when he got a chance against New Mexico State. We're going to look at when he got a chance against ETSU. We're going to look at some high school film. That means demonetized, and that means Brian Turner is doing the Lord's work. Dropping an orange boy will play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Brian for 20 says, Dorfy, love these film breakdowns. Thank you, Boogie and Coach Jay, for all your hard work you do. GBO, shout out, Brian. We appreciate you. Just like the other film breakdowns, demonetized. Most of you guys know this is how I pay my bills. This is how I support my family. This is all free content. We're not getting paid without your support. So thank you for the super chat. Lil Spooky has been a member for 40 months. Shout out, Lil Spooky. We appreciate you. He also drops a $2 super chat and says that first G-Mac touchdown is gonna be awesome. Randy Wilson drops a 5 and says Dorfy and GBO. Shout out, Randy. We appreciate you, my friend. Todd Landers for 10 says Dorfy, ready for some football GBO. It is here, Todd. It is here. One more week. Bear with us for one more week, and then we're going to have all kinds of fun content for spring camp. Frosty dropped a $1. We appreciate you, my friend. Tim Rice has been a member for 36 months. Luke Thompson for 2. Says Dorfy, shout out Luke. Jeff Clabo joined the chat. Jeff has been around here forever. He must be renewing that membership. But, hey, we're trying to give away some free merch around here. 34. Is that possible? Is that possible with 100 people watching? I don't know. We'll find out. 34 new members or 34 gifted memberships. However you guys do it, we'll give away some free merch. Chief for 5 says Dorfy. Shout out, Chief. Appreciate you, brother. Darius Dunham is here and drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Darius says, Dorfy, what up, Coach and Boogie? Hope y'all are doing well. Glad to be back. GBO. Shout out, Darius. Raven also became a member of the channel. I appreciate that, Raven. Thank you for the support. And Randy gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. So shout out for you guys. We appreciate that, man. Strengthen numbers. Keep those memberships rolling in. And Sean drops a $10 super chat. Says, really love the show, Boogie and Coach. Why does he? I think he wants the channel to just get destroyed. Coach, you're muted. Sean's calling us names. Maybe. Maybe I could come. Oh my gosh. I can't even believe I put that on the screen. He messaged me yesterday on Facebook and he says, when are y'all going live again? And I said, well, me and Coach are going live Sunday night. He said, I can't wait to troll you. Have a good night. Well, there he is. There's the troll. We appreciate you, Sean. Coach, you demanded this here live stream. What was going through your mind cooking up George and Faison?
I saw a lot of breakdowns coming out of George, and I heard Boogie and everyone talking about how this quarterback competition, maybe not be a competition, and maybe it's just a dead thing, and GMAC's got all the leg up, and I think GMAC has a huge leg up. I think he's extremely talented. I think he was dismissed as a recruit, but I also think Faison is a special talent, a really special talent. And I don't know that he can overcome that big mountain that's in front of him of space and time and Coach Heupel's system, but I think he's got the talent to do it. And I think no matter what, we're going to get a quarterback competition where one guy is pushed a little more than they think by the other guy. And I kind of wanted to jump in and not dismiss Faison like I feel a lot of people have been doing, but also to shed a little light on George, because I think there are still people that are taking him a little bit for granted as well. So I kind of wanted to shed some light. I kind of wanted to correct maybe one or two things I've heard that have been incorrect in breaking them down as well, and some misconceptions we've had about the Veer. So I thought it'd be a good time when we have some time to kill to go over everything.
I wish people were more excited about the potential at the quarterback position, whether it's George, whether it's Faison, whatever the case may be, however the chips fall, I'm riding with that guy. But, and I've kind of said this on some live streams that when it was Nico, man, we were all giddy. We couldn't wait because it was that awkward transition where some people were calling for Joe Milton to be benched and Nico to get an opportunity then. And then he does get an opportunity in the bowl game, and that's just a little appetizer, just to whet the appetite just a little bit going into year one of the Nico era. And there was so much excitement, and maybe that's why. And I'm just sitting here laughing about it because, again, as we look to 2026, and I'm talking about Jim Knowles and talking about Owings and what this team looks like after a full year in his workout program and all that type of stuff. And it's almost like they look at Nico and it's like, well, he sucks. So if Nico couldn't do it as a freshman, then George can't do it as a freshman. Nico went 10-2, coach. We were in the college football playoff. And yeah, I get it. We lived on defense and running the football. Why can't we do that in 26? We got Jim Knowles. It ain't Tim Banks. It's all new. It's all different. I'm fired up, man. I'm ready to see what this football team looks like. And I'm getting excited about this quarterback competition. But let's talk about some other position groups. Then we'll dive into the film room. Who else are you excited about? For me, when I look at this thing, and it can be, you can spin this however you want it. You can spin it of competition. You can spin it of the most talented group, like the linebacker group. I think most people would argue. I'm excited about this offensive line. I am. And Derek Owings is a big part of that because I think the offensive line was pretty dang good in 2025. And I feel like we saw them kind of drop off as the season went on. And I think a good strength coach, a good nutrition plan, I think this offensive line can thrive. I think a year of continuity, and I know Lance Hurd hit the transfer portal. Look, there is nobody else that I have more confidence in to play left tackle than David Sanders. I think we're going to be just fine. It's just going to be interesting for me to watch that right tackle position. And if you guys missed the film breakdown on Ori Williams, go to the playlist, give it a watch. Coach, you got the confidence in Ori Williams. But if he's not the guy and we end up with Jesse Perry at right tackle, I just think this offensive line can be a strength for 2026. But what position group, what bunch are you excited about?
I mean, obviously the linebackers, right? I talked about it. We're just extremely deep there. I think the secondary, man, like I do, like for those of you who watch the film breakdown, you know how high I am on Kay and Lee, on TJ Metcalf. I know we haven't gone to Deshaun Lane, but I'm high on him. Quay Moss is sneaky good, fam, like sneaky good. Ty Redmond on the other side of the field. Now they're going to need to stay healthy in the secondary, but if they can do that, the linebackers mixed with them have a chance to be really, really good. I think David Hobbs has a chance to be really, really good. That's another guy I'm really excited about. He just didn't have that offseason to get strong, right? It's like he never truly got in fighting shape with all the injuries he was dealing with. So I'm excited about him. And I agree with you on the offensive line, Boogie. I mean, you just got a lot of depth there. I mean, you think of Wendell Moe, right? You think of Haslam. I know we haven't gotten to him. That's another one. That kid's got a violent streak in him. For those of you who haven't watched this film, I was kind of getting ahead of the curve. And then you got that kind of those guys who kind of can settle you down, you know, that Sam Pendleton, Jesse Perry, those blue collar guys inside. And then on top of all that, you've got your 5-star, right? You've got your true leader, your all everything in David Sanders. But make no mistake, that offensive line is going to be a big part of it. But I think these wide receivers are going to be sneaky dangerous for this team. And I'm really, really excited about them as well. And I think we could see a real relationship between GMAC and Brad Jackson grow over the years. So I'm excited about that pair as well.
Man, I don't know if you read the War Room on VolQuest Friday. They brought up the wide receivers, and it says 2 guys that the quarterbacks will be throwing to that have drawn praise, according to our sources, are Rad Jackson and Travis Smith. It says Smith fell off the tail end when he got banged up. We continue to hear he's been really good since December, and the competition with he and Jackson should be one to watch over the next several months. Of course, they're competing for that Chris Brazzell spot. You know, Mike, man, I get excited about the wide receivers too, because look at the step that Mike and especially Braylon, but both of those guys took a big step from year 1 to year 2. How much bigger of a step do they take from year 2 to year 3 in this system? And the rapport with George McIntyre, right? Like you talk about practice. We talk about practice. Yeah, we're talking about practice. Guess who they were repping with a lot? George McIntyre getting an opportunity. We saw the pictures of them together in Florida, putting in work. And then you got Tyreek King and Tristan Keys. Is there any way that you can keep those 2 dudes off the field as true for? I mean, I like the way, you know, we always question the wide receiver rotation. I feel like this staff, whether that was Coach Pope or Coach Heupel, whoever, I feel like Brad Jackson, Travis Smith, they got some run. Not just, oh, it's mop-up duty. I'm talking in legitimate games before they got hurt, before Travis Smith got hurt. They got an opportunity to go out there and play against SEC opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. And they look good all throughout it, right? Like, spoiler alert, we're going to see a great Brad Jackson catch that a lot of y'all familiar with because I had to pull it up. Travis Smith, we won't see the play on here, but GMAC finds him in that ETSU game. They look really, really, really comfortable together, but I'm with you. Tristan Keys is a walking touchdown in the slot position, and we know how dangerous the slots can be. How quickly can he pick it up? You know, I watched a little more Tennessee film than I thought I was going to preparing for this, Boogie, because I kind of got on this Tennessee offense kick to see what we're going to be looking at. But one thing that really surprised me with these young wide receivers is how well they know their role when the ball is not coming to them on the football field. Because a lot of times in this veer and shoot, your job is, for lack of a better word, that of a decoy, right? Like to pull people away from what Heupel and what this offense wants to do with the football. Staley looked wise beyond his years doing that. When you rewatch the film, Mike Matthews looked really, really good doing that. And even Brad Jackson in small work looked really good doing that. But I think Staley and Keys in that slot are going to be lethal, absolutely lethal this season.
I'll just address this. Somebody in the comment section, what happened to the wide receiver from the portal that we got from Alabama? Did you see that Amari Jefferson, who you're talking about? Did you see he medically retired? Oh,
yeah,
sucks,
yeah,
man.
he did. I mean, that's hard, guys. Look, football's a hard game, and it's retired a lot of people. You're getting into little 6 mile, 7 mile per hour car accidents out there every other play. So it's hard on their frames. It's part of, even though why I kind of hate INIL for certain reasons, I kind of like it because, you can really go out there and screw up your body for a long, long time playing this game. And if you're making millions of dollars putting your body on the line, I certainly think you probably deserve a little piece of that for doing so.
Yeah, especially when somebody else is making so much money off of you, right? Like that's where the whole name, image, likeness thing came from. We could argue and debate and talk about the structure and the format and the rules and the guidelines. That's another stream for another day. I just hate it for Amari Jefferson, man. Such a good kid. Getting him on the show, getting him on the channel, talking to him. Good kid. Wish him the best, whatever direction he goes. Timothy McGee for 5 says, "What? You actually answer Facebook Messenger? That's shocking." Sometimes I do. If you guys saw the messages I get, I respond when I can, but it is what it is. I respond to you, Timothy. Timothy with another 5 says, "Wrong Samson and out defense got us to the playoffs." Man, it's almost like I said that before Timothy had an opportunity to say that. Why do people hate, man? We're not talking about Nico. We're not talking about Nico. Brody Bailey, I was going to say something, and then you're going to go into this 45-minute dissertation about it, and we just need to talk Faison and George. Brody Bailey became a member of the channel. Shout out, Brody. Hey, keep those memberships coming in. If you like the content, you watch every stream, you watch every video. You're here on March the 8th. You love Tennessee football. You love the Talkin VAWLS Network. If you're not a member, hit the join button. It's $1. That is it. Shout out, Brody. Peyton Bowles for 5. I'm excited for whoever QB1 is, just nervous about the experience. They have none. Our schedule is brutal. There's no experience like live bullets, like game day, but George has been in the system for well over a year. Same amount of time as Nico when he took over as the starter. And again, we were excited for that. So I'm excited, man, just to see what happens. I get what you're saying, though, Peyton. I get it. Sean for another 5 says, "I don't mean to change the subject. What's your views politically?"
Oh,
Timothy from 10. He says, "Yeah, Heupel only teaches half the field, which gets your quarterback killed, because if they look on the other half of the field, they would get more catches." I disagree with that. Did you watch the Heupel breakdown film thing that he did?
We're going to get into it, Timothy, because I don't know if you caught it on my lead in a little bit when I was talking about we're going to get into the veer and shoot a little bit. I know there was another prominent Vol YouTuber who made a comment that one side of the field is only red during the veer and shoot, and this is just emphatically false. It's a myth kind of spread by either the internet or I don't know who, but certainly defensive back coaches should not be spreading rumors like this. But it's just simply not true. As a matter of fact, there's something called read side mirror routes in the veer and shoot, where the whole point of it is the backside read. We'll get into it later, though. Sorry.
I would say somebody's catching strays, but they're not strays. They're targeted and deserved. Bleed Orange for 20. That's an Orange boy. Shout out. Bleed Orange will play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Bleed Orange says, what's up, fam? Apologize for not being around much lately. I've been dealing with some health issues. Praise God, most of my tests came back good. Still got a little fighting to do, but Jesus got me. GBO, let's go GMAC. Well, thoughts and prayers for you, Bleed Orange. We'll be lifting you up in prayer as well, my friend. Glad you got a little bit of good news, but keep fighting. Hang in there, brother. It's good to see you in the chat. I appreciate you dropping in and hanging out with us. Timothy for another 2. But if you watch, he only passes to one side. I would disagree with that. I'm telling you, Timothy, watch the Heupel. Obviously, coach is going to get into it here. Heupel shows the all 22. You see so much more. You can't see this stuff on TV. So if you don't have the all 22, if you don't have access, you don't necessarily see that on TV.
Yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, in the Heupel film that he's talking about too, he talks about this exact thing. The mirror route. There's a place where they're working right side only. I didn't expect to get into it this quick, but but we get off the rails here because it's for you guys and by you guys. But he makes the point, and what I mean by mirror routes, a lot of times you'll see it on here in a little bit. Like I said, you'll have the slots run a switch concept with the guys to the outside of them, right? And you'll have mirror routes. So the 2 slots will run a curl. The X and the Z will run seams inside, right? And you do have a read side of that play. It is the veer and shoot. I'm not going to BS you guys. There is a read side to the veer and shoot, right? And that's for a couple reasons, right? One, in the veer and shoot, the goal is to find the weak spot quickly and exploit it so you can keep moving quickly on the gun, right? But it's not a one-sided offense. The reason you have these mirrors is because a good Southeastern Conference defense, guys, will start keen on that read side. They will pick up that read side and they'll start jumping it. And I'll point it out, like I said, on a play here. And that mirror route, that mirror wide route, that X route, if you will, is there to exploit it on the backside. If that is true, then Jalen Hyatt wouldn't have had 2 of his touchdowns against Alabama because he scores them in this manner in a mirror route stack seam press, curl press, seam mirror. So it does happen. I get what you guys are saying. And there are times where it does happen. And here's how you can tell them usually. It's really simple to tell usually. One side of the field won't do anything. They'll just stand there. And then it plays on the other side. I know we've all seen it. Other times it's mirrored by both sides. It's mirrored because backside verticals are what you want to press when read side breaks down. Typically that is flipped pre-snap, but not always. It happens during read play as well.
All right.
Yeah.
We're
I
off
like
the rails
getting
early.
technical early. I like
Let's
it.
go.
Boogie.
That's what we're here to do.
It was like a whole talking point, so I dig talking about it, man.
We're going to kind of jump into both of these quarterbacks. We're going to talk a little bit about them. We're going to get a little bit of a scouting report, get Coach to give his scouting report, and then we're going to go through some film and let Coach kind of break it down. And this is not I guess it is kind of George versus Faison because we're talking about who's going to be QB1. This is highlighting both guys. This is going to show us why we should have confidence regardless of who it is that wins this starting job. Timothy for another 5 says, I've seen Joey and other quarterbacks in the reads never do a Manning check down and throw it in coverage. Joey did force the ball down the field some, but that's we kind of knew we were getting that from Joey Aguilar, right?
Big time. And I thought for the most part, all of Heupel's quarterbacks could get better in checkdowns, Timothy. So I can kind of echo that for you. It's kind of easy to want to take those greedy, either quick routes or kind of panic and pull out of them and take off, as we've seen quarterbacks do as well in the system. Joey wasn't really that kind of guy. He was more like like look for that deep developing route. But there were times where he hit the backside pull of it too. I mean, gosh, we can't get into it right now. Maybe if we get bored between spring and summer ball, we can go into a deep dive. Sorry, I didn't mean to scramble your brain.
Hey, I tell you guys,
I'll explain it during a play so you guys can kind of see how it works.
Yeah. You guys tune into the film breakdowns every single time. You're going to learn something. But let's kick this thing off. Let's talk about Faison Brandon. You see his UT Sports, his Vol Athletics profile, 6'4", 206. I mean, you know, when we talk about Nico and the hype and the difference of mindset going into the season, man, if Nico would have started as a true freshman, I think everybody would have been like, let's freaking go. Let's ride with Nico. Like he was that type of talent. But how many times did we have the conversation, Coach? I don't know. It may not be Nico that leads us to the promised land. It may be Faison Brandon, because this coaching staff had their eyes on Faison Brandon for a long time. He was the guy. The On3 industry rankings, 5-star quarterback. He was listed 9th overall and is the 3rd best quarterback in the country. His junior season, 16-0, 4A state champions, 2,800 passing yards. This is what I like, and I get it. It's high school stats. Take it for what it's worth. 35 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. His touchdown to interception ratio, very, very, very good at a young age. 2024 Gatorade North Carolina Player of the Year. But, Coach, when we're talking about it, what concerns me is his senior season. Only played in 6 games, right? Thumb injury in the first game, makes it back for the playoffs, leads his team to a state championship appearance. He goes 66-101 for 1,100 yards. Again, touchdown to interception ratio, 11 touchdowns to 1 interception, 233 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns. How much do you play that senior season and just not playing live football? Only 6 games, really 5 in the playoffs, and then that first game where he got hurt. Do you factor that into it very much?
You know, if he didn't get to play that second half of his senior season, I think I would, right? But one thing I kind of picked up on is, you know, he was able to kind of work that injury rust off throughout the back half of that season. And he did look a little rusty, like in his first couple games back. You know, it always just takes a minute, right, when you come back from an injury. But if anyone can do it, man, this kid is it. Like, as you mentioned, we all kind of know, right? Like, high school talent's high school talent, right? Like, it always has to transfer over, and you have to see how it plays at the college level. But as far as high school talent goes, Faison is one of those top tier guys, extreme blue chip guys. If anything, anyone or anybody could come across it and kind of get ready quickly, it's him. And as mentioned, he's going to be really hard to keep off this field. He digests the game quickly. He throws the ball extremely easy. He's got a lot of throw power. He can flick his wrist. He just feels the field really naturally. And one thing I really, really like that Faison has, and George has, you'll see it in both of these players right now. Nico was a very sudden athlete and could escape the pocket quickly, Boogie. But it was like Nico's thing was, it had to be really quick. Everything was always like sped up, right? Like it's like, oh, bam, bam, I'm going to juke out or I'm going to throw it and I'm out. George and Faison both have that thing you want in a quarterback where they're calm, where it's like they can be a sudden athlete, but they're going to be more California than a California kid, if you will, with pressure coming up a gap in your face is maybe the best way to look at it.
I want to go through what Charles Power, I'm going to look at this for Faison, then also for George. Charles Power over at On3, Director of Scouting and Recruiting and Talent and all that good stuff. He calls the shots over there at On3 when it comes to rankings and evaluations. And this is what he said about Faison: accurate passer with the physical traits to make him one of the top quarterback prospects in the 26 cycle. Said he measured 6'3.5", 200 pounds prior to his senior season. Now, he arrived on campus in January at 205. He already weighs 215. He's up 10 pounds from January until the end of February under Derek Owings in a college weight room, already up to 215. Says he flashes a live arm, particularly in the camp setting, easily generating zip A good athlete with solid speed, does a good job limiting mistakes and avoids putting the ball in harm's way. Has the skill set to stress defenses with his arms and legs. Effective distributor in operating the quick passing game. Also played basketball, plays the conservative high school offense that offers few downfield passing opportunities. Will benefit from honing his footwork and lower body mechanics once he works with college coaches. One of the youngest top quarterbacks in the cycle will need to continue gaining more useful passing reps, but has early round upside if developed properly. Coach, what is your scouting report? What do you hear Charles Powers say that you agree with? Anything that you disagree with? What does he need to work on? Where do you think he's at as of his high school tape that you've broke down? We do sell a t-shirt that says you're muted at bonfire.com/store/talkinballs.
No, I agree with, for the most part, everything that Charles Powers said. Just, really, really strong arm is mentioned. I think that Faison can be a real weapon with his legs. Not to say GMAC can't run. GMAC can get out of the pocket. He can evade people, as we'll see here in a minute. But Faison can run some quarterback counters for you, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? He can run that true option offense. He's a real RPO threat, not just to keep you honest. He can pick it up. Sometimes he can be guilty of trying to do too much, right? That thing that really, really, really amazing athletes can do. There was a play during the state championship game, it's not on here, where he evades about 4 people, and he does that NCAA thing, Boogie, where he comes off the spin and, reaches the ball out on his arm too wide. He's can be a little guilty of not taking better control of the football when he's getting blindside pressure. And that can be problematic. I mean, instantly thinking back, what comes to mind when we think of not taking care of the ball with blindside pressure? My mind goes to things like Nico against NC State getting hurt and having that pick. More recently, Joey Aguilar against Oklahoma, right? Maybe could be, that one's a tough one. That kind of came off free, but just a little bit better backside protection of the football is something I'd like to see him work at. And then also just continue to get faster through the progressions. And I think the advantage that George McIntyre really has is he's quicker, at least right now, from what I've seen from Faison senior film, of flying through his progressions than Faison is. But you'd also expect that, right? Like in a year with a Josh Heupel system. So, but with that said, Faison's everything you want in a quarterback, Gatorade player of the year, so on and so forth. And if he came in, beat George out, and was a Heisman contender out of the gate, I wouldn't be surprised. Not saying he will be. Don't hear what I'm not saying, guys. I'm just saying he's that kind of talent. We'll see once they put some water on it. Once they put it in a little bigger pot, does it have the ability to grow into the plant that it should be, right?
I think if Faison wins the starting job, it's because he's so dang good you can't keep him off the field. I think exactly. I'm gonna have confidence in either guy. But if Faison wins, I'm gonna roll into that season going, man, he's so freaking good that you couldn't keep him on the bench, and I think that would speak volumes.
Boogie, the ball knowing, there is some ball knowing realist right here on the Talkin VAWLS network, and we got one in the chat saying Staub with eyes, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, realist. Another Danny Hernandez kid, another Coach Pearson coaching tree quarterback. I know that would make like 3 in a row and everyone get annoyed of Coach A talking about it every other minute, but it'd be funny to me if he did get it. Not that I think he will. I think he's a depth piece, but I do think he's a valuable depth piece as well.
Yeah, I mean, you had to have him. You had to have him.
You had to.
I just don't see him winning the starting job. Sean for 5 says, I'm 17-8. Well, you're lying. You're lying, Sean. Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back, is lying about your NCAA record? I'm 17-8 all time against Boogie on PS5 college football. Only stat that matters. Please bring back Buzz Peterson. If you want to be in our Patreon Dynasty, it's a good time. We just started a new season. I just dropped the link in the chat, man. It is a lot of fun. You get access to the Discord where we're always talking trash, always talking smack, always talking Tennessee football. Come check that out. Waniac is here. What's up, Wayne? Good to see you in the chat, brother. Drops a $5 super chat and says, G, We appreciate you, Wayne. I put a really stupid target goal to get, what was it, 10 Orange Boys on this stream. You guys sponsor the film breakdown, so we need your support. Drop those Orange Boys. We appreciate it. Or you can just hit the thumbs up and keep it simple, stupid. All right, let's go. You're not stupid. Coach is stupid, or I'm stupid. Let's jump into the film room. We're going to break down some film. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared. Let's see. Number one is NCH. God, if you guys could see how many tabs I have open.
That's my fault, probably, fam. That's my fault. I gave him 10 million cut ups.
Is this it? Is this the one?
I don't know. I can find it.
Nope, that's not it. Hold on, let me go back.
It's
the tabs timed out is part of the problem. This is the one we want. I think.
Yes, we'll find out if I start talking about it and something different happens, right?
Oh my gosh, why is everything a nightmare? I don't want this on here. What is that all about? All right,
there we go.
Coach. Play
here we go. We can do this. Just number one, Boogie, at least for these two first plays for Faison, and then every play but the last play for George, we will get that reverse camera angle of it so we can take another look at it. So just something I want you to be aware of. Right off the bat, guys, you're going to see kind of something familiar here, right? This is a formation that Josh Heupel uses. A lot of us are very aware, right? Single back, single wing, twins to the top of the screen. All right. So right here, what we're going to get, and Boogie, look at the defense right now, right? They're in a nickel. Look at that box. The box is kind of dedicated. We got one high safety. But that bottom of the screen, right? That X wide receiver right there, we got one-on-one coverage right here. Now, he's given him a little cushion. We've got mixed coverage, and by mixed coverage, I mean on the top of the screen, the guy on the Z wide receiver all the way on the top is facing up. Not impressed, but what I would call inch technique. And then on the bottom of the screen, we have a little bit of cushion. So since we got a little bit of cushion, we're going to run play action. This is a play that, funny enough, Josh Heupel recently talked about in his breakdown that he did. It's a deep out, or also referred to as a circus out. Their wide receiver kind of runs it as a whip route rather than kind of that true circus out. But go ahead and run it, Boogie, maybe till about the that mesh point of the handoff on that play action. Right. So right there, and you see Grimsley had a good running game, and you see the linebackers, both Mike and Will, taking a step forward. Kind of that star backer, number 21, to their left-hand side inside, is taking a step in. Now, he's played it a little bit more honestly, right? But you see the space on the bottom of the screen, right? Boogie, go ahead and give me about to the point where he's going to break to the outside, that wide receiver. And as he does that, you see Faison just stand really tall. And right here, this seems like a simple play, guys, but this is a big throw, right? Like it's just a big out throw, 3rd and 7. If we count those yards, that's like a 15-yard throw, and I think like a 8-yard throw sideways, maybe 8 to 12-yard throw sideways. And he just really flicks his wrist. I mean, Faison has such good arm strength. He can get the ball out on a whip, and I mean, he hits this kid perfectly right in the hands where only he can catch it. We'll see it from the opposite side when Boogie lets it go, but this is a route I wanted to show you because it's one that Tennessee runs commonly out of their system, is just that circus out. In Tennessee's system, though, they'd either have the slot or that slot wide receiver or the backside Z wide receiver running that kind of middle seam, like I talked about, to kind of be able to mirror it. But you see how easy that throw is, tight spiral. One of those quarterbacks with a really, 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 really pretty spiral, and just flicks it out there in a hurry.
Do you worry about what the Charles Powers scouting report said, that he doesn't, their offense doesn't really push the ball down the field? Do you worry much about that, or have you seen enough in his tape to know he can throw the deep ball?
He can throw the deep ball. We're about to see it right now. It's funny that you brought it up, Boogie, because we're going to talk about it right now. He throws the deep ball really, really well, and I don't worry about it at all. And we're about to see on this play too, next play, he's got a little bit of a spidey sense, man. Like I'm calling his nickname Spider-Man right out of the gate because he's just got this feel where when he gets backside pressure, like I said, I think it's why he does a poor job of protecting the ball, like I was talking about at times. It's almost because it's like he feels like he'll feel that backside pressure and be able to get it out. So it's like not an issue for him because he can just flick it out so easily. Right here, we have the same exact setup almost, except we're to the short side of the field, but we still got that single back, single wing. We got twins once again to the top of the screen. But right here, what's the difference, right? That one high safety is a lot closer up, right? And look at the corners. No more mixed coverage, right, Boogie? No more mixed coverage. Coach Jay is in press. Boogie, where are we throwing the ball?
Well, are we playing EA Sports College Football? Because I'm going over the top with this one, and you got no shot. I like that top wide receiver with press, man. A little inside technique, a little bit. We're going over the top.
A little bit. That safety is a little creeped up right in front of that ref. Only playing what we'll call it 9 yards deep. We'll call it 9 yards deep. So good call, Boogie. As Boogie presses play and gives me the first couple steps of this, I want you to notice the left tackle is going to get absolutely whipped. And I mean whipped good by the edge. Boogie, go ahead and give me this first couple steps. There you go. He's already outside of him. And you see right here, right, the wide receiver has started to get to the outside. The cornerback's kind of got that inside technique on him. Faison's going to hold this for just a tick while he gets even with him. And I want you all to notice how close this backside pressure gets to him. And it's almost as if Faison changes his arm angle a little bit to get this out, and almost like a catcher to second base, just whips this ball out. And guys, this is a 7A, by the way, as you can see in the corner of the screen. This is a chip, right? This is for back-to-back high school championships in North Carolina. Unfortunately, when we watch the summation of this play, we'll see the wide receiver drops this ball, but he owes Faison a steak dinner because he drops the most perfect deep pass in 7A history right here. Flicks it. I mean, look at this ball.
Oh, my God.
I mean, wait till you see the backside angle of this.
What do you think about his mechanics with the way you talk about the way he flips that wrist?
You'll really get to see that flip from the other side. And I truly feel it's one of those things, God, I hope we get this kid on here one day. I would love to ask him if he changed his mechanic. From the backside, he doesn't look like he does. From the front side, but look at that pass. I mean, oh, man. I mean, they win this game, so that wide receiver can probably look Faison in the face nowadays, but had they lost this game, he might not have been able to look him in the eye anymore. Because, man, I mean, if you don't think he can throw deep, I don't know what that is. And one thing for a quarterback who's got a real live arm, who's got a rocket of an arm, in high school, Nico didn't have a lot of those deep ball problems that he did in college, but Nico threw a really hard deep ball also. Faison has got a great changeup when he throws the deep ball. He can put air under it. He can flick it out there. He doesn't got to power it downfield in that manner, and I think it's really, really going to help him on the college level.
Let me catch up with you guys in the chat real quick. We got about 150 people watching live. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, do us a favor and hit that thumbs up. We would appreciate it. Timothy for 5 says, what are y'all thinking about meeting for Saturday for the orange and white game? We will be at the orange and white game in April. I'll let you guys know. I will put it on Twitter. I'll post it on the YouTube, all that good stuff. I haven't decided yet where we're going to park on Saturday. G10 will be gone. Or at least under construction. So we got to find, I think a parking lot would probably be the best. There's several parking lots that will be just pay to park type deals. I just think it's easier for all of us to get together that way versus all having to walk to somewhere with a parking permit and all that good stuff. Joe Brown became a member of the channel. Shout out, Joe. We appreciate you. Keep those memberships coming in. We get 35 of them. We're going to give away some free merch. We're inching our way closely. Marcus saw the goal. Marcus saw the target. Marcus understood the assignment and dropped an orange boy and says GBO. We'll play the clip for Marcus.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Shout out, Marcus. We appreciate you, my friend. It is good to see you in the chat tonight. When in April is it? I think it's the 18th. Is that right? I've got the calendar in front of me. I can just look real quick. No, the 11th. The Orange and White game is on the 11th. Spring practice starts on the 16th. So we'll go live next Sunday. And next Sunday, we're going to have Scoops on here. We're going to have Foul Ming on here. We're going to break down, do a full-on spring preview. Sean for 20 will play the clip again.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Sean says, I don't get to watch as often as I used to. Guys, update, still sober for almost 9 months. Shout out, Sean. That's awesome. Proud of you. Says, Boogie, love you, buddy. Thanks for putting up with my silliness. See you next time I catch you on a live. Take care, everybody. Have a good night, Sean. Appreciate you, brother. Proud of you, man. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. That's something to be proud of. 9 months without a drop of booze. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, let's jump in to play number 3. I don't know why this thing, I had every tab open and ready to share on the screen, and then now it's all disappeared. Yes. Let's see.
I was worried that would what happened when you have
highlights, far sideline view there. All right. There we go. That's clip number 3.
All right, beautiful. So what we got going on right here, guys, is I know we kind of picked it up right here, but we have an RPO play, right? We have single wing. Sorry, not single wing. We have trips to the bottom of the screen, right? So 1, 2, 3 wide receivers and trips. This is an RPO, so once again, we can hand it off or we can pass the ball. The pass play that he's going to be reading is the X wide receiver that's all alone to the top side of the screen. Boogie, if you can put a little circle in this side, and we're against a press look. And not only are we against a press look, we're against double mug, right? So, or actually, sorry, that's single mug. Forgive me, Coach Jay can't count anymore. I'm always yelling at our offensive line and our defense for not being able to count. And here I am not able to count. We got single mug, so we're showing pressure right up that A gap, right? So, Boogie, right at about that mesh point of the RPO, go ahead and give me a little pause right there, and we can talk about what Faison is looking at here.
Yeah. Let's go walk through this for me with RPO, read pass option. So we're reading whether we're going to hand it off or we're going here. Now, I know you just said you're going to do this, but I want you to dumb it down. I want you to tell me what Faison is watching. Let's just start it here. Let's start at pre-snap. Where are his eyes? What is he looking at to make the decision between read or pass? Those are the options. A run or pass. Sorry, I can't talk.
Yeah, so number one, right, there's a couple things that make this a little bit more complicated than your everyday RPO play, which is exactly why I put it on here. So thank you for scratching that surface, right? If this middle linebacker wasn't in mug, if this Mike was just back right now, we would be reading only the defensive end to his left-hand side. You want to go ahead and put it on him, right? So if that defensive end stunts inside, you could keep the ball and take off, right? If the middle linebacker blitzes and the end stunts inside, then we can keep the ball and take off, right? If the middle linebacker drops into coverage, right? If he walls off the middle of the field, because the bottom of the screen, that's already handled, right? The trips is taking care of man to man to man on the bottom of the screen. But if he walls off that slant that the X wide receiver at the top of the screen is going to take off, right? And he bails, then you also can hand the ball off, right? Go ahead and give me that mesh point. We can talk about the decision he has. All right. So he wants this slant right here, right? Like everyone's come, right? The defensive end kind of stood up and did a lazy job of it. he's looking at that slant coming in. Boogie, just give me a split second longer this play. There you go. I really truly believe two things have happened after he pulled this RPO in, because he read it right. The slant, what was going to be there, and the slant is there, but there's a problem. A, we have A gap pressure coming right in our face. B, I think he thinks right as he leads this guy. You see that referee right there? I don't think Faison likes that. I don't think he likes it one bit. I think he got spooked by this, and he doesn't quite know, hey, can I fit it in there before this guy flies? Because mind you, we're stopping the ball, right? We're Zach Morris saving by the belly, freezing time and talking about this play, right? But he ran that RPO quick. He picks up that referee right in that line of sight, and he goes, oh, crap, I can't throw it. The next read is A-gap pressure, and you have a problem. Right? The most scary kind of pressure is A-gap pressure. His offensive line got their tails whipped, right? So he's got to make something happen with his feet. Boogie, give me the next couple beats. Right? And you see how in that, and it wasn't just, once again, you see where the referee is, but the real issue is this A-gap pressure. I mean, that guy jumped up. So if he was even able to get the ball whipped around him, he probably wouldn't have got it through that referee, right? But he makes a zip move. Now he pressed the old L1 or our L1 button, right? Zipped through, and now look, his eyes are downfield, and he's got how many blockers in the middle there, right? 1, 2, 3. You give Faison an inch, he's going to take a mile. Boogie, show him what he does with it. Pop, really good feed about him. Makes a single cut. And move in that open field, ladies and gentlemen. He can really stretch it out and make you look silly in a hurry. I like that he took the time to straight arm that poor little kid that was half of his size at the end. But really, really shifty in that pocket, and really, really calm in a moment that's chaotic, if you will, on that RPO. So well done pointing that out, Bug. We just see all the different things you have to digest very, very quickly on RPO for it to work correctly. A lot of moving pieces.
We got another orange boy. Randy Wilson drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip for Randy.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
I tell you what, man, you guys show up, show out, show love. We're going to be doing more live film breakdowns. I set the goal for 10 orange boys, thinking that was crazy, and you guys wouldn't do it. We've already got 6 of the 10, so we appreciate that. Consider it a sponsorship of the film breakdown series. Let me see here. We got all right, this is the behind the quarterback view. All right, here we go.
All right. So right here, guys, we got single wing, right? Number 5 in that wing. We had a tight formation when this started. They have since gone out and spread out. The defense is kind of getting a little reset. They're in an odd man front right now, right? So Faison's going to look at this. Go ahead, the first beat of this, Boogie. Just first beat right here. They switch to that odd. There we go. All right. Now, the wing is releasing off, right? Number 5 on the left-hand side. You see him, Boog? He's releasing out. Yeah, there you go. He's going to release upfield, either on a seam or on a corner. It might even be one of those dreaded option routes that Timothy hates so much. But Faison's looking for that, right? And he's going to get in a little bit of trouble here. Now, this is part of what, not to bring him up again, guys, but this is part of what plagued Nico against teams like Georgia, teams like Ohio State. They were able to bring way less men than our offensive line were blocking, and they were able to get pressure, and that's going to happen here. Faison's right tackle, number 72, is going to get beat here. This guy's going to work him inside. Boogie, go ahead and give me that point where he passes him, and then give me pause. We see Faison going through his outside progressions, and now we've got that problem again. A gap pressure. And we're going to see how calmly Faison just ditches his A-gap pressure. Go ahead and give me to the point after he deals with this first guy, Boogie. Very calmly, just deals out, right? The backside defensive end's going to do the right thing, flatten out at about the 9-yard line. And Faison's going to have to deal with him as well, and he is. But there's one thing I love what he does, and I know Boogie was high on Joey Aguilar because Joey did this at a high level. He kept his eyes downfield even when he was under pressure. Faison's going to do the same thing here. One thing also I want you to pick up on, Boogie, remember how I said I don't care for the way he carries that football when there's backside pressure? You see that ball? We got to fix that, Faison. We just have to fix it. I know you want to be able to fake throw and you're going to fake the throw here, but you just got to keep it a little tight to your body. You can still fake that throw. Boogie, go ahead and give me the point to about where he evades the second guy. Right. And then here, look, where's the wide receiver? Who are we throwing to? Who are we throwing to?
I'm open.
I'm open, Faison. Right? But I see you. I see you. My eyes are open. Even though I've had all this chaos, my eyes are open. Go ahead and give us the delivery. Nice lift off. I love how he throws on that hop step, on the move. He's able to get those shoulders kicked around, able to get some zip on the ball, even though he's flying outside. I like that. A lot of quarterbacks just kind of would oomph it out there right away. He had the wherewithal to, reset himself and then lift off and put some zip on that so that his wide receiver could actually catch it on the move with a little bit of a lead.
All right, we got one more we're going to take a look at here for Faison Brandon. Then we're going to jump over and talk a little George McIntyre. We had almost 140 people in here watching. Only 81 likes, guys. Smash the thumbs up. Takes you 2 seconds. We would appreciate it. All right, Coach, what do we got? One last play here for Faison Brandon. You're muted, Coach. It's not time for the T-shirt plug, but if it was,
man.
I would tell him to go to bonfire.com/store/talkinballs, pick up some merch. All right, what do we got?
We got single back. We got deuces stack, right? This formation, obviously, we are all very familiar with. We've got a nickel look, single high safety up top. Faison right here. So the X on the top of the screen, Boogie, the X is going to be in front of the S, right? So the S is behind him, the slot wide receiver. The X is in the front. The X is going to cross inside of this cornerback in press. And I kind of like this right here, guys, because we can see something. The top of the screen, the cornerback is in press coverage. The bottom of the screen, the cornerback is in inch technique. Okay, that's the difference between the two. When you hear me talking, there's just a little bit of cushion in inch technique, not a ton, right? This play is kind of just showing off here. Boogie, go ahead and give me the first step or two of this play. First B, right? So we see right here, the X wide receiver on the top of the screen has crossed the face of the cornerback right here. He's going to try to stay in the hip pocket that cornerback is. The Mike linebacker is going to start his wall off. You see that Mike linebacker, Boogie? Yeah, he's going to start that wall off, right? So he's going to go on an angle to that 20-yard line for this wall off. The cornerback's going to stay in his pocket. Faison's going to try to squeeze this slice route inside. Faison, please don't do this at the college level. I love you to death, but and I know you complete this, and it just shows how phenomenal this kid's arm talent is that he puts this ball on time and on the money. But good gosh, don't do this against SEC talent. I realize how talented you are, but watch this fit, Boogie. He fits this between, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, either 3 or 4 players right here. Stands tall. Watch this fit. I mean, you can't throw that route any tighter, any better. If he leads him there, it's picked. If he doesn't get out up enough, the cornerback's able to get to it. I mean, that it's a throw I don't like as a coach. It's one I like as a defensive coordinator. But man, a quarterback that can do that, that's special and that's scary and that's pinpoint accuracy. And man, what a throw. What a throw.
So he's got the arm talent, he's got the athleticism. He can make all the throws. He can throw the deep ball. You said what is your concerns if we go through camp, we go through summer, we go through fall camp, and Josh Heupel announces Faison Brandon as your starting quarterback for 2026? When a negative thought enters your mind, it is what with Faison Brandon?
Obviously, that injury thing is part of it because he is a little more prone to run. Now, in this theoretical word, I mean, was he just so dang talented that he beat out George, right? And George is still really, really serviceable and can play. Because then if he can, you let your hair down and let him play, right? But if for some reason George isn't where you needed him to be and Faison still won the job, then that injury bug kind of scares you a little bit. I think George takes care of the football a little bit better than Faison does. Not that Faison throws, and it's more than just picks and not picks, but it's how he holds the ball. It's when he's actually running forward with the ball, he'll fumble once or twice because when you're really, really athletic and you can make a lot of open field space moves, you tend to catch a lot more shots from all over the place that make you more prone to injury, that make you more prone to losing the ball. That kind of thing scares me a little bit more, as well as the tight fits. I think when George makes a pick, it's going to be because he made a mistake. I think Faison can throw picks because he was trying to fit a ball in there that you might not want it to fit in there.
Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Big Orange Mountain for 20. Another Orange boy will play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Big Orange Mountain says, great stuff, boys. GBO never tire of film. I'm glad you guys dig it. We're going to be jumping back in the film room here shortly, getting some more film breakdowns out your way. We're going to jump into it. We're going to take a look at George McIntyre. But first, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. Takes you 2 seconds. Think about hitting the join button. It is $1. It costs you $1. Is this channel worth $1? Are you watching right now and you're not a member, but you think maybe, just maybe, it is worth $1? We need your support, especially this time of year in the off season when we're still talking Tennessee football all day, every day. We would appreciate your support. Hit that join button. Also, you can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS and grab some Talkin VAWLS merch. We got this one right here that Coach Jay is wearing. If you're arguing with somebody on the internet, in the chat, on the comment section, whatever, just let them know that you are a certified ball-knowing realist, and there's no argument to that. That means that you are right and they are wrong. You can grab that. You can get the TN theme shirts, Talkin VAWLS logo shirts. We got Nike merch, golf, quarter zips, polos, whatever you want. We even got a shirt that says, I hate the whole state of Alabama. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate you guys that have grabbed merch. I keep mentioning the Patreon. If you want to play EA Sports College Football with us, you can do it by joining the Patreon, but we also have a game day chat where you can hang out with me, talk throughout the course of every single game. The guys use it for basketball games too. You want somebody to hang out and talk with during the basketball games. We also just have a $1 tier. If you want to support the channel, you can do it that way. But go check out the merch, Patreon, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. Let's go talk some George McIntyre. Are we going to talk about his weight, Coach? That's what everybody wants to talk about, is George McIntyre's weight. What's the profile? What's his UT Sports profile say? 6'6", 195. I know VolQuest mentioned, let me scroll back up here. I had it somewhere. George McIntyre is pushing 200 pounds, and every weigh-in is a personal best. So this is since Owings arrived on campus. George has been putting on weight week in, week out. Now, when we talk about Faison Brandon, right? When we talk about Faison Brandon, nobody mentions his weight. Nobody's concerned about his weight. Nobody has a problem with Faison Brandon's weight. But he came on campus at 205, and nobody was worried about it. George right now is 200 pounds, and everybody is panicked about it. Number one, I think he's going to have the opportunity to put on more weight. Between now, he'll probably struggle a little bit once spring camp starts and you're going through practice and all that good stuff. But then the summer, I think George, 210, 215, you think, Coach, by kickoff, by the fall?
Yeah, I'd say about 210, 215. I'll say 211. I'm just not that worried about it, man. Like, you know, yeah, you want your guys to be durable. Can he get hurt? Sure, but he's kind of lankier. You know, he of course, you know, you think guys like Tyler Bray came in skinnier than a post. He had that same build. I think recently, what Bryce Young was 194, Stetson Bennett was 190. I think Ken Dorsey was like 6'5" and famously like 188 when he came into college football.
I didn't have a
Uh,
Ken Dorsey reference on the bingo card for this stream. I like it though. I
sorry.
like it.
Sorry, yeah. But yeah, so is he a little lighter than maybe you'd like? Yeah, sure, but I'm not really worried about his weight so much. I'm worried, can he make quick decisions? Can he move this offense? Can he play within the veer and shoot, make smart decisions? And can he let his offensive line, his running game do the heavy lifting? And can he let his wide receivers make plays for him in space and you know, not have to worry about being Ben Roethlisberger out there, so to speak?
You're pulling all the wild ones out today. I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it. So let's talk about George McIntyre. He was a 5-star quarterback until he wasn't, right? He was a 5-star, and then he wasn't like he committed to Tennessee. And I know we as Tennessee fans like to talk about how everybody hates us. And when you commit to Tennessee, you get dropped in the rankings. And hey, man, I don't even know that I could prove you wrong if that's how you believe. But he commits to Tennessee. Why does George McIntyre need to go compete in camps? Why? Like, to me, from a recruiting standpoint, I go to camps to get my name out there. I go to camps to prove myself. I go to camps to almost network and grow my stock value. George was a 5-star. George committed to Tennessee. I don't need to go throw in t-shirt and shorts. And then he fell to a 4-star. He was 193rd overall and the 15th best quarterback when it was all said and done. At one point in time, he was a top 10 player and the number 2 quarterback in the country. I don't think George cares about that. I think George is a competitor, and I love that he even smarted off at the guys and said, sorry, I didn't throw enough in t-shirt and shorts. I wish I had that screen capture from the tweet when he put that out. I like the mindset. Us against the world, screw the scouts, doesn't matter. But we'll talk about Charles Power. He says he's a tall signal caller with projectable tools as a passer and a playmaker. Talks about what he measured in at, doesn't matter. He's tall, wiry, touts a tight, compact throwing motion. The release is whippy quick at times, shows the ability to flick passes out to the boundary and downfield. The mechanical foundation points to a baseline level of accuracy. Says he's a bouncy, light-footed mover within the pocket, avoids pressure in the backfield, stepping up in the pocket, capable of making high-level second reaction plays, has encouraging improv skills, shows a long stride in the open field, doubles as a high-level basketball player, and received high major looks as an upperclassman, plays a tough schedule, but does not have the production or efficiency typical of an elite quarterback prospect. High school team struggled in his junior season, but showed improvement as a senior. Does not always spin the ball well, and the arm strength registers as average to below average relative to his highly rated peers. Must fill out his thin frame to hold up physically at the next level. So, Coach, you kind of run through what your thoughts are, what you agree with Charles Power, what you disagree with Charles Power.
A great flick of the wrist, as Powers referenced. Throws the ball to the boundary very well, which he referenced. It's funny to me, he kind of got busy of chewing on his own words a little bit with his below baseline arm strength comment, because he talked about how well he throws it to the boundary. And we'll see here in a minute that one thing we saw last year consistently was the splits were brought in with Joey Aguilar, right? We almost never, ever, ever, ever saw those wide splits with Joey Aguilar. But guess what? When George came in, we saw them come back. And the reason we saw them coming back is because George could just flick it out to the boundary really easy, right? Like Joey could put a lot of air under the ball to get it deep, but he wasn't really that kind of a quarterback that could flick it out there or drive the ball out there, right? He needed to kind of launch it out there. George can. He can flick it way out there. I know some people love him. Some people hate the bubble screens to the boundary. I like them as long as they're in moderation because they set things up and you can you can expand and contract and contract and expand, and it plays havoc on your defense. It's when it's too much of one thing that it becomes not a good thing. So I thought he was a little guilty of eating his own words right there, but very light feet. He can be really creative. I think his arm strength's just fine, and I think it will be fine. And I like his accuracy a lot. I thought he was on point when he said pinpoint level accuracy. I think George is a very accurate quarterback. I think he's comfortable in his own skin, and that's why he felt like he needed to not be at every single camp. And look, there's a lot of quarterbacks who, honestly, they are going to get that work done on their own and are more comfortable doing it in a private setting. I would say quarterback camps are more critical to 13, 14-year-old and younger quarterbacks attending at a young age than, kind of that seasoned junior varsity quarterback who's working on his own to compete at a high level.
Let's talk about his athleticism. Let's talk about his mobility. You watch tape on Faison Brandon. He reminds me of I know you not the same as Nico, a little different, but he reminds me of a Nico. He reminds me of a Hendon Hooker. He reminds me of a guy that can go out with his legs and change a game, right? Whether it's designed, whether it's improv, whatever the case may be. I don't know that people necessarily understand that George ain't a Joey Aguilar. Joey even, I felt like he had a good internal clock. When it's time to bail, Joey would bail. When it's time to run QB power, give me Joey Aguilar. But George, I think, is a little bit more mobile, a little bit more athletic than people realize. What are your thoughts about his legs, his wheels?
Sneaky athletic, and I really like the way he can escape in the pocket. I mean, honestly, Boogie, I'm hoping he doesn't have to do that much escaping in the pocket this year. I really, as we were talking about before the show, I have high hopes for this offensive line, and not just in the run game, but in the famous Butch Jones throw game as well. I have a lot of faith in our offensive line moving on, and I hope George doesn't have to use it that much. But with that said, it's a Southeastern Conference. You look at the schedule Tennessee has, you're going to see the best rushers in the SEC week in and week out when we get in conference play. And no matter how good your offensive line is, they're going to break loose. They're going to get free. They're going to get up in your face. And it's nice to know, that he's able to get out of trouble and he's not going to panic and he's going to split out. And I'm excited about that. I think he's just a little more mobile than Joey was, obviously. And I think he can get out and kind of use that long stride. He's not going to we just saw Faison take one to the house up the middle, right? I don't think you're going to see that out of George, but I do think you're going to see those plays where he breaks out of the pocket and stretches like a little 6-7 yard scramble into a 25, 29 yard scramble. So that's going to be nice to see as well.
All right, we're going to jump into the film room with Coach and take a look at it real quick. Let's see. We're actually watching. We're going to watch a little bit of both. Coach has a couple of one high school play and a spring game play, and then 3 live action games. We're going to go take a look at the Tennessee spring game first. And I thought when we
Boogie remembers this perfectly. Boogie, tell us what happened. You remember it, right? Like it was yesterday.
I do remember leaving Neyland Stadium going, I feel like George played better. I also can we move this on?
Yes, we can. I'm sorry. I had to, guys. I had to. All right. We've all seen this play for the most part, right? It's the Rad Jackson grab. I will stand and die on this hill. I think George and Rad are going to have quite the relationship with each other. Right here, we see, we don't want to call it a pistol. I like to call it that Glock, where it's like the running back's not quite in a single back set, but he's just kind of like that, offset, not quite behind the quarterback, but just kind of a yard behind him and to the right of him formation. Single wing. Looking at this defense, this is the kind of stuff that just drives me crazy and drives me crazy about Tim Banks. You have this mixed coverage that we were talking about. You've got press on the bottom of the screen. You've got, look at all that cushion at the top of the screen, right? And then you have a safety all the way down. And you really don't want to be like this because look at all the space between 15, the safety Farouk, and the cornerback here on the bottom of the screen book. Look at that amount of space. I mean, the whole point of running this nickel system that Tim Banks liked to run was to limit teams that spread the ball out, throwing it downfield, right? That's the whole point. But when you do crap like this in your cushion variations, it's going to cause a problem, man. Like if you're going to be in a formation like this, you need to be in a 3-2-5, not a 4-2-5, and we'll stop ripping on Banks and move on. But Boogie, go ahead and give me that mesh point of the play action here. All right. So we see our backers, right? They've come up, and we see automatically what happens, right? Like George is reading the bottom of the screen. He knows he has all that space, right? He knows Rad Jackson's going to be working down the field, and he knows that 15 is going to have to play center field because we had twins to the top of the screen, right? So he knows all this, right? He's going to stand up deep in this pocket. Give me a couple more seconds of this development, Boogie. There you go, right? He's got some pressure coming now. He's going to go ahead and let this fly, and he does the smart thing. He throws back shoulder here. Rad Jackson decides he's not going to catch this ball back shoulder. He's just going to Rad Jackson it and yank it out of midair. But I really like the ball placement here against really, really good coverage here. I'm not quite sure who the cornerback is here. I don't think it's Redmond, but I can't really tell, to be honest, from this angle. Let's go ahead and take a look at this shoulder throw. And I like the timing and the trust to just go ahead and launch it out there, right? Puts a little too much air under that. I really do feel like he was trying to throw that back shoulder lane and kind of put a little bit but too much air under it. But what were we all begging for with Nico, Boogie?
Mm-hmm.
Put some air under it. Let Rad Jackson. You've got Mike Matthews. You've got all these stud wide receivers. Put some air under it and let them go make a play. If you're going to miss on a jump ball when you've got athletes like this, I really like the touch. Obviously going to be a special relationship with Rad Jackson there, but just good single touch. And I wanted to show a little bit of a deep ball.
All right, we got the New Mexico New Mexico State game.
We're going to get both angles of this here, Boogie, okay? And I definitely want to see both angles of it. But right here we have pistol. We have twins to the top of the screen, single wing. The offensive line is going to run a zone blocking scheme against this nickel look from the defense. Boogie, go ahead and give me that mesh point. Zone blocking screen. Now, you notice the wing really stayed tight behind his offensive line as he scooted out of there. We're going to run the boot off of this, right? And one thing I really love, when George gets out of this thing, guys, I mean, right here, Boogie, pause it. Look at the space between the two cornerbacks at the top of the screen and the safety and our wing back. I mean, look at all this space out of here. A lot of times quarterbacks are going to want to continue this bootleg before they get it out. George is just going to kind of whip this thing right in here, right into the lead, and throw it into space, which is exactly what you want to do. He makes a not easy throw look a little more difficult. You really want your wing back. I can't tell if that's Van Dorselaer or who that is there, but whoever it is, they don't hold on to the ball. But GMAC does a good job. We'll see it from the other angle here. And we can see how well he gets this out. See this zone blocking scheme, whips it around. I like it. He didn't wait for that slot wide receiver developing on the other side. Sometimes quarterbacks get greedy there as well. Doesn't need to throw that. Just get the ball out in space, pick up yards, and keep this quick offense moving.
That's Cole Harrison. I had to look it up. I had no clue what number Cole Harrison was.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and obviously, right, when we watch these plays with GMAC, also understand these aren't the ones out here with him, right? They're taking it to New Mexico. They're taking it to ETSU. He's working with backups, but he made the backups look pretty dang smooth right there, Boogie. And already you can kind of start to see in these Tennessee clips with George how Josh Heupel is going to want to use GMAC.
But, like, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Faison or George. But when I look at George, I'm not looking at the fact that he played against New Mexico State. I'm not looking at the fact that he played against ETSU. I'm looking at the fact that he went head-to-head with Tennessee every single day in practice. Josh Heupel sees that. Josh Heupel knows that. How much value is there in experience? Or is it low-hanging fruit that somebody like me comes on here and talks about? I've talked about it with Nico. I've talked about it with George. How much of an impact is it to have a kid that's going to be – I mean – these kids early enrollees in January. So George has been here. By the time they get ready to go play, I mean, George will have been here almost 2 years, a year, well over a year and a half at that point.
It matters. It does matter, but it also depends on the kid and their mentality. I mean, some kids are just old beyond their years. They're really calm, cool, collective customers. And it just depends on that kid. And I do think it's going to help George a lot. I think George did have a little bit of growing up to do. I think it helped him get into that body a little bit more. I think it's going to be a huge advantage in this quarterback competition. And I think he starts with a huge, huge leg up. I mean, just being able to build that relationship, passing with all the guys in the offseason and working with them and being able to kind of know where they are. He's got a big, big head start, and it's going to be really, really important. Faison's just really talented, and like I said, I do believe that he's going to have to keep him off his heels, and I think we're going to have a fun one. I think George can do it. I think he can keep him off his heels, and I kind of like the idea that he will have him pushing him, right? And I also like the idea that you have someone who's been there, so GMAC is going to be able to kind of walk not only him through this, right, but Staub through this as well, right? Like this is going to be his first year in that system. We need GMAC to grow up quickly. How quickly can he go from that kid on the bench to the leader that this football team needs is going to dictate a lot, because I think the number one thing you need out of your quarterback is leadership, and we need George to be a leader.
Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Timothy for 5 says bubble screens are good until a DB reads it and a pick 6 to 3 to 4 times. I like the bubble screens too. I think they open up so much space in the run game. Just it's like us playing on a Tuesday night. Why do you keep running that stupid play to the flats? It doesn't work because I'm baiting Coach Jay so I can attack him over the top. Like you said that earlier. It sets up so much in this offense. You don't have to go out and do it 100 times a game like we did when Joe Milton was a quarterback, but if it needs to be part of the offense.
Yeah, we're about to see it on this next play. But Timothy, if you do it too much, and that's why I said moderation, anything, right? Any good SEC defense is going to pick up on what you're doing sooner or later. So, yeah, it's got to be in moderation. It's got to be with deliberation, and you've got to use it to set traps as well, like Boogie was talking about. With backside vertical mirror routes, which coincidentally enough, we're going to talk about on this next play.
Timothy dropped another 5 and says, if you had watched, you had one wide receiver quit on the play and GMAC stare down his wide receiver, which is what I'm talking about.
On the previous
Are you talking about the Rad Jackson play? He's staring down his receiver. I don't know if he was talking about the Rad Jackson play or not. But it's one-on-one coverage, and you like the matchup.
Yeah, So in the Rad Jackson play, I would say it's 1 + 1, and it equals 2, right? Like that on that play, it wasn't like
you're not looking off a safety.
There wasn't variables. It's 1-on-1. You've got this kid in space. You're going to count on your guy to make that play. If you're talking about the play before, you had 2 options, as I talked about. You had that slot running drag behind, and then you had the wing kind of running that out play as well. And the defense kind of has to choose, right? They've got to pick their poison on that play. They picked the slot coming across the screen. The wing was there in space, and he picked the guy in space. But if you watch that play before, again, I mean, George does see him. He does pick him up. He just sees the wing has more space, and he makes the right decision.
Timothy dropped another 2 and said he missed a crossing route. Ball's gonna balls. Been a member for 16 months. We appreciate you, brother. Can't wait to see some spring ball. See how good this strength coach actually is. Hopefully, George put on some solid weight. Yeah, you may not have been in the chat. Ball's gonna ball when I mentioned it earlier. He has put on weight. What did I say he was up to? I got to go back to my notes. George is up to 200 pounds every time they weigh in. VolQuest reported every single time they weigh in, he's at a new high. So he's putting on good weight. We talked about this earlier. I think he gets up to 210, 215. We'll see what happens. Coach got so offended by Timothy's super chats that he just left the show. How am I supposed to run the show when Timothy is insulting Coach Jay and he just leaves? He disappears. Timothy with another 5 says Manning would have hidden that stare down. I don't know that you need to hide that stare down, right? What like? It's like Coach said, it's one-on-one. You know, you got one-on-one coverage. You're counting on your guy to beat that one-on-one coverage. It's not like you're having to look off a safety. You're going through your progression. You saw it pre-snap. You saw it pre-snap, and you liked what you saw. So you went out and you made a throw, and you connected. It's a touchdown. It's hard for, well, it wasn't a touchdown, but it was a big gain, big pickup. Hard for me to complain about a big pickup because he didn't look off a safety that wasn't there. All right, let's go take a look at a couple of the plays from the ETSU game.
All right, guys. All right, true veer and shoot. Look at our spacing. Our spacing is back. Yeah, Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning, Timothy. I mean, I guess that's all I'll say about that. Yes, Peyton's great, but even Peyton could get fooled, right? So I think Ed Reed fooled him really bad on a play with that safety look off. But truly amazing player, but not every kid their freshman year is going to be Peyton Manning. Unfortunately, I wish they were. I'm here for it if they are. We have deuces, right? So we're going to notice our splits. Like I said, our splits are back, right? We just did not see a lot of this under Joey A. We did see some of it, but once again, these splits are wide. When you look at how wide out they are, you have a double mug look from this defense, right? So both of those middle linebackers showing pressure, right? You're also showing pressure off the edge with the top side outside linebacker. I don't know if you put a little circle on him, Boogie, on that outside. Outside.
I didn't hear a word that you said. I was reading the chat.
All right, my bad. Right there, the top side of the screen. There you go.
Right.
Yep.
I didn't hear
you also had double
said.
mug from those middle linebackers. Both cornerbacks are playing with cushion. This is what we're talking about, guys, when we talk about read side and where I wanted to talk about the veer and shoot and how you have read side and then you have the offside, right? And a lot of people mistake the non-read side as a dead side. And there are times, once again, and I know we've all seen them with Tennessee, where the dead side just does nothing, right? The wide receivers away from the ball just stand up, right? So this is designed, to find the weak spot quickly here. The slot wide receiver on the top of the screen, Boogie, you see him, the S slot wide receiver up there next to the Z. They're going to run a switch concept. So him and the Z wide receiver to his outside are going to switch. That slot wide receiver is going to run a curl. The outside wide receiver, the Z wide receiver, is going to run an inside seam and press the deep pass. This ball is designed to go to the slot wide receiver at the top of the screen in the space quickly so we can keep operating quickly. Now, this is all fine and dandy. It works almost every time. It happens quickly. Josh Heupel's team presses the ball, but as Timothy was alluding to, defenses can get hip to it. They can rotate. They can bring pressure. This is why you're going to see on the bottom side of the screen with spacing, you're going to see a mirror. You're going to see the exact same thing happen to the bottom side of the screen. You're going to see the Y slot wide receiver run a curl. You're going to see the X wide receiver on the bottom of the screen, switch and run a seam, and that's going to be a mirror route. So as we watch this, guys, understand that Mike Matthews on the bottom of the screen, the very, very bottom wide receiver, you see him, Boogie? In no shape, way, or form is this ball supposed to go to Mike Matthews on this play. It is a read side play, but to sit here and say that we don't set up backside verticals pre-snap, that we don't stop the safety from rolling over. You see number 7 right by the power tee? You already see him with his shoulders turned. He's already rolling to the top of the field because they have a beat on what they're doing. They already know read side is strong side here, right? The top side of the screen. So he's rolling over. Now, if George picks this up here, you run play action and you throw it to the X wide receiver on the bottom of the screen, pressing the vertical. That's not what happens here. But once again, people out there on the internet saying that read side of a veer and shoot is a dead side, that they're only reading one side of the ball, is simply false. If not, why were we rolling out Nico every play to cut the field in half, to make it so Nico could have a simplified read? If you recall, the reads were becoming too much from Nico on the backside mirror route, so they started rolling them out and having more success. This happened because the veer and shoot does have a mirror. It's not a dead side. There's read side and there's backside. That's it. It's not read side and dead side. If someone's saying that, they're flat out wrong, period. Full stop. Tennessee has had multiple touchdowns this way. Anyone also saying that the quarterback can't flip his protection in the veer and shoot, that is incorrect too. I'm here to dispel that myth as well, ladies and gentlemen. And it probably should have been done here, to be honest. And the reason is that top side, outside linebacker pressure that Boogie circled earlier. The back probably should have been flipped here by George. We'll see why in a minute. But once again, notice these deuces, wide receivers, twins to top, twins to bottom as deuces. They're going to run the exact same route. So I'm going to let Boogie show it to you a couple times from this angle so you see it. Boogie, go ahead and give me the first couple ticks of this play. Right. I mean, no one picks that guy up. I mean, absolutely no one. We don't fan out. We pick out the double mug. We're in huge, huge trouble right here. That's the play before, but watch your wide receivers. Just watch your wide receivers right here. I know some are in tight on the top, but you're going to get the same. You get that same switch. You already see it starting. That same switch. You get that same switch, but he's only reading right, and he gets pressure to the right. Go ahead and stop at about that same point, Boogie. Now, you see where number 7 is now, Boogie? Go ahead and circle him. You see where Mike Matthews is with that inside stem? He's going to be running to that hash mark. You trying to tell me Tennessee hasn't hit that mirror route a couple times? I know they have. I didn't pull up all the instances, but I assure you Tennessee has hit multiple touchdowns, multiple seasons in this manner. So to say that that mirror side, the bottom side of the play side to the read side is dead, once again, guys, is bogus. We see George right here. I mean, he's cooked, Boogie. Look at him. I mean, he's cooked. He's cooked. That outside linebacker is in his face. You know, the running back's trying to get out there. George is going to do a heck of a job evading this pressure. Go ahead and give me the evade. Plugs up, hits him perfectly on the dime. We'll see it better from the other angle. But look at the stem on. I'm not going to stop on this stem on the mirror side here. And if George was able to move his running back on that play, I mean, that's 6. I mean, we're not running wide receivers in seam routes on a switch seam concept, full speed to get them tired just for fun. If there's a read side and a dead side, that wide receiver isn't doing nothing. Nothing, right? And we can watch
how much,
and I'll shut up about it. But
no, I love it. I love it because I know why you're fired up, and I love that you're fired up and you want to bring facts, not bull crap. to a film breakdown. But how much of this is when Josh Heupel talks about he's got good command and control of the offense and understanding of what we want to do? That sounds like BS. It sounds like cliche. It sounds like coach speak, and maybe it is. But maybe that's George being able to process, hey, I need to move Dwan Morris from my left to my right to pick up that coverage, and then maybe we've got a touchdown to Mike Matthews.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I said, if you picked up one thing I said that the mirror side, backside verticals, which is usually what you want to do on one of these quick out reads in the veer and shoot, you want to do that pre-snap. 90% of the time, Boogie, that's going to be a pre-snap pickup by the quarterback. Now, I know Heupel's been on record, and I've heard him say it. He doesn't usually like to switch the running back up, but once again, they do that in this very game in a little bit. And so it just ekes me a little bit when I hear people say that. I hope they let the quarterback switch their protection, because he has let them switch protections in the past years. Do we need to do a better job of it? Yes. Do we need to do it more? Yes. But the pre-side pickups are there. Hendon Hooker did a great job of it when he was at quarterback, and I think George can do a good job of it too. But as he sets him down right here, Boogie, I mean, yeah, he should have switched. Who is it? It's the kid from Oakland at the running back position. Yeah, Dwan Morris.
Yeah.
And I see why, right? Like, technically, you have your double mug pressure right here. So I get want him leaving there. You still got 6 on that outside, but you've got that direct threat. I wouldn't mind him moving him there, because you want to throw that quick out anyways, and you want to read the side that doesn't come anyway. So I just think it's there regardless. But I'd like to have flipped him. I'd like on the evade. Now, you see, it was really smart on the evade right there. A lot of people might have watched that play from the other angle and thought, hey, coach, as soon as he evades, why don't you just step up in the pocket and throw that seam to Mike Matthews? Well, look, number 8 beat his man to the inside is why. George sees that, so he needs to evacuate to the other side and then find his open man in space and put one on the numbers, so to speak. Right?
Goodness
so pick.
Gracious.
Yeah, just beautiful.
Who was that at left tackle? Is that Bennett Warren? Who's 68?
68. I think it was.
I mean, this is ETSU.
This is
Watch
not
this.
That is.
I'm just watching every player on this play.
That's bad.
This is not fun.
And that's why, yeah, no, it was not fun. It was not good at all. But hey, George very calmly evades that pressure. And you see the difference too. Play that one more time from that angle. Look at where Faison had the ball on that one play.
Yeah.
And look at where George has it. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Faison just needed to keep that ball a little tighter, much like George has it right here, and then he can go ahead and whip it out.
Let me hit a couple from the chat real quick. Timothy for another 5 says, yes, but Manning and others also read the whole field. Coach just showed you. Coach just gave you the proof that we're going to read the whole field. Timothy for another 2 says, why didn't any wide receivers go shorter to help the quarterback? And then for another 2, he says, sometimes 2 tight ends and quicker passes work too.
I mean, I agree with the quicker passes work as well. And I do agree with another thing you just said too, Timothy, that sometimes, like what I didn't like about that last play design, for instance, I don't like that there wasn't a panic route, right? There wasn't a safety check down. Both of those comeback routes that were ran by the slot wide receivers were a little bit longer developing, as you very astutely noticed right there. Go ahead and shorten one of those up, or have a hot route where one of them can like run a drag or like a little whip route, because your quarterback, I mean, that defense was in double mug. They were showing pressure to the outside. Like, they're coming on that play. It's not a bad idea to have a check down or a panic route right there. So there is an element of that I really do agree with, Timothy.
Ron the Don is here. What's up, brother? Says it's grind time. Film breakdown with Boogie and Coach Jay. Let's go. Spring is in swing, so let's go. Door fee, boom, boom, room fee. Best podcast for the Big Orange fee. Let's go. Go Big Orange. Shout out Ron the Don. I appreciate you, my man. Vols for Life. I think he messed up. He dropped 2 $5 super chats to say the same thing. I don't know what happened there. He says, thank you, Coach Jay. Starting to think Danny White is handcuffed. The whole sports has handcuffed the whole sports of UT. I mean, either way, I'm not excited about this season. Hope I'm wrong. I don't know how you can't be excited about this season.
I mean, I'm excited about any football season.
Maybe that's the problem too. I know I am too, and I guess. Oh, he says $10 for Coach Jay. You deserve 2 super chats.
Thank you,
man. I know I said it at the top of the show. I'm just excited. I think this offensive line is going to be improved. I think the wide receivers are proven and going to have an opportunity. Like, you couldn't ask for a better situation on offense for a freshman quarterback to step into than having the guys around you that George or Faison is going to have around them. So the problem therein lies on defense. Well, we brought in freaking Jim Knowles, and we brought in a whole bunch of talent. So, man, I'm excited. I'm freaking excited about this upcoming season. But like you said, Coach, I'm excited about every freaking season. Glass half full kind of guy. All right, here we go. Second play, ETSU.
Yep. So right away, once again, guys, the splits, right? I just wanted to keep showing this because I wanted to show how much more comfortable Josh Heupel is putting big time veer and shoot splits out there when GMAC was on the field as opposed to when Joey was on the field. So I just wanted you to notice it. We have a little bit of a mixed coverage right here. The top side cornerback is kind of playing cushion inside leverage, where the bottom side cornerback is kind of playing. I wouldn't call that inch technique. I just call it kind of a mix match off. But right away, I mean, we got single wing, and look at the space out there at the bottom of the field, Boogie. I mean, there's a lot of space between that slot wide receiver and the safety, right? And we're going to exploit that space, right? But in order to do it, you're throwing from a hash mark all the way to the downside of the field to throw this bubble screen. And I wanted to show it to you so you could see how quickly we can get the ball off. So once again, single back, twins to the bottom of the screen, single wing. We're going to be against, oh gosh, what is this, Boogie? $326. So we're against a $326. We're going to throw the bubble screen because we have the space here. The S and the Z wide receiver are going to switch on this bubble. So the Z all the way at the bottom is going to pop out for that bubble, and the slot wide receiver is going to kick out that cornerback. Let's go ahead and watch how easily George gets this ball out here. Boom. I mean, right on the numbers. You see he's comfortable with it. I know you guys have seen it a million times. It's just something we didn't see a ton of with Joey, and you're going to see it again, for better, for worse. I don't know if you guys hate it or like it. I know Boogie and I like it as long as it's not abused. We're not saying to throw it every other play. But you see right there, look, that's Mike Matthews in space. You get Rad Jackson in space, Mike Matthews in space, Tristan Keys in space like this. I mean, that's what you want. That's moving the ball. That's 10 yards down the field. You get that defense to suck up. Man, it sets up your deep ball. It just allows for your offense to breathe and create space that this veer and shoot was meant to make. And if you notice right there, Boogie, the second time, if you watch that again, the run is actually there. Like, look at that. He hands that ball off. That's sealed too. So you can start to see, just some of the advantages that true spread veer and shoot can create.
But that's what I love about Josh Heupel. I love the fact that this is the spring game, and then Joey comes in, and we didn't really see that. And we see this offense grow and adapt and change every single year. And it shows me that Josh Heupel is willing to change when necessary. Timothy from Another 5 says, I'm not mad about anything, just asking questions. Did I say Timothy was mad?
I didn't think you were mad, Tim. We don't think you're mad. Much love, Tim.
It's all good. It's all good. We appreciate you, Timothy. Did I miss something?
Very much so.
No, I don't think I missed anything. All right, we got one more play. Yes, one more play. This is from the high school level. So, Coach, we watched a spring play. We watched 3 regular season plays. Why did you go back to the high school film for this one? What did you want us to see from the high school level?
I read the comments about the deep ball, and I know George was downgraded not over camp, not only camp, and not throwing it, but he was downgraded because they said he couldn't throw the deep ball, and I didn't like it, Boogie. It stuck in my craw the wrong way, is what it did. And I wanted to show that George does got a deep ball in him, and that he certainly can throw the deep ball. And I wanted to show everyone that, and we just didn't have enough minutes.
Can I
we
shut
had the
something
back.
down real quick? And then come
Yeah,
right back.
sure,
This
sure.
is not accurate. So I don't know if you're trying to start this or you're pretending to have a source or somebody else is pretending to have a source to you. Staub was not promised the starting job to come here. So that is 100% false.
Is that Danny Hernandez in the chat, Boogie? Is he?
Has he got a burner account?
Danny, you got a burner, Coach Danny?
It's his burner account. Look at him.
Look at it? I see you, Coach Danny. I see you.
What are we
I
doing?
see you in that chat. We'll get another one of your guys in here before long. Don't worry, buddy.
I love the internet. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm turning into a broken record here. Single wing, twins to the top of the screen, right? Like we just hear it a lot. I know I quizzed Boogie the other day. Single wing, double wing, all created by Pop Warner. If y'all want a little bit of history, Beer and Shoe, Art Briles, Josh Heupel, Mike Leach. Love it, love it, love it. What is kind of weird, Boogie, is what kind of defense is this? I mean, I know we were just talking about the dollar. What is that? What is this defense, guys? Anyone in the chat? Anyone?
I have no idea.
It's stupid looking is what it is. It's some kind of Tim Banks tomfoolery. My best guess is it's a too high shell, and it's some kind of variation of the 4.25 and too high shell. But it's all cattywampus. I don't
it's
like
a 4.25 with this dude doing whatever he's doing.
Right. It's just odd, right? It's what it is. Excuse me. My throat's dying on me 2 breakdowns in. But anyway, right here, guys, G-Mac's going to kind of fake this draw, right? He's going to act like he wants to run the draw play, and he's going to get pressure. He's going to get pressure from that guy doing whatever the heck he wants to do that Boogie pointed out so accurately. Boogie, go ahead and give me the first couple seconds of this play, right? He just steps up, and what that does, yep, Boogie's already on it. It freezes those linebackers, right? And it's exactly what we wanted it to do. It frees the linebackers. Why? I mean, I think it's either 53 or 57, that guy who's doing whatever he wants, or maybe 17. I'm getting blind in my old age. But he's going to lick this guy to the outside. Give me one or two more steps, Boogie. There you go. Now he's coming free. George doesn't have time to make a decision here. He's got to vacate. He's going to vacate all the way back to, I think, about the 10-yard line, or maybe, let's see how far back he gets, Boog. There you go. Yeah, about the 10. He switches his feet right here at about the 11, and he's going to let it go, Boog. Right here at the 11. Boom. And look at that. 54 yards in the air. That's from the 16-yard line to where, Boog? The 30 or the 20, 16 or 11-yard line, sorry, to the 29, 28.
Yep. 29
so 50,
looked like.
Yeah, so 55 yards on the hip flip, and he can't throw the ball deep. I mean, did I miss something here? Like, last time I saw a deep hip flip thrown that well, it was by a quarterback named Carson Palmer as a freshman for USC. I mean, just a great hip flip, pop out, down, 54. I mean, that ball was soaring, hits him perfectly in stride. I like.
Do we have
man.
another one? Do we have another one, or is this just lag left over?
I think this is just leftover. I mean, we
Okay.
could watch. I don't know what happens.
No, I think you run out of. I think it cuts off.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I mean, I just wanted that play is there purely to show that George can throw this deep ball. Make no mistake about it. That is a college level deep ball right there. He can throw the deep ball. You will see him throw the deep ball, and you will see him complete deep balls this season if he can hold off a very, very talented very, very skilled young Faison Brandon.
So I ask you the same question I asked you with George that I asked on Faison. Josh Heupel rolls up there to the podium, or you get your little depth chart and they name George McIntyre as the starter. What's the first negative thought that goes through your mind? What are you worried about if it's George McIntyre?
I mean, just the minor amount of inexperience. Is it going to look smooth? Is he going to be rattled? I'm not worried about him until that first SEC game. I'm not even that worried. When they announce him, I'm not even that worried too much about the Georgia Tech game. But that first Southeastern Conference game on the road, it's going to be a big time environment. It's going to be different than anything he's ever seen. And it's going to be interesting. It always is, to see how these young guys handle that kind of a situation.
Well, I've already called my shot. I've said it's George until it's not. I even went as far to say that there's not a quarterback competition happening. I think Faison has to go and take it. I think it's George's job until it's not. That doesn't mean that I think Josh Heupel ain't going to tell us. If there was or was not a quarterback competition, he ain't going to tell us. I don't think he's going to tell them, because I think you're on to something. Some people, when you got somebody nipping at your toes, you got somebody pushing you, that can make everybody better. It's like the fighter analogy, right? Conor McGregor was a mother effer when he didn't have a pot to piss in. Now he's got billion-dollar yachts and mansions and all this stuff.
Silk sheets.
It's hard to get him fired up for a fight now. So the fact that there is a little bit of that threat from Faison, I'm excited, but I'm calling my shot. I think it's George McIntyre. But if it's Faison Brandon, guess what? Let's go Vols. If it's Ryan Staub, guess what? Let's go Vols. You calling your shot? Is it George McIntyre?
I think it's George, but I think it's by a nose, man. And
is it out of the realm of possibilities that we play both?
You just took the words out of my mouth, Boogie. I think maybe, just maybe, for the very first time in Heupel's life, I don't want to call it a 2-quarterback system, but I think he's going to get some at-bats, if that makes sense.
I don't know if I like that.
You know what? If
not.
George comes out and he's just money, then why mess with it, right?
Right.
Then why mess with it? But if it's a little shaky, if he's having freshman moments and Faison's pushing him, then I could see him getting into that bat or two. But we'll see. I think George is going to be good enough that the experience should help him win it out. I think it's a good problem to have that you have 2 really talented guys.
And the other question everybody wants to know, does Miss J have her George McIntyre jersey ready for the orange and white game yet?
I'm telling you, I'm starting to feel bad that I'm like a stubby little dude. Like, she liked Tyler Bray too, and now George McIntyre. And I'm like, do I need to be like 6'5" and thin? Like, why?
You're fine just the way you are. I just happen to like tall, skinny dudes, man. It's like there's nothing wrong with you. I just have a preference, right? Oh my gosh. Hey man, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Coach wanted to do this film breakdown live. Sometimes it's fun to do a breakdown live, especially when we got 2 guys like Faison Brandon and George McIntyre. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, hit it on the way out the door. Go check out the merchandise. Go check out the Patreon. If you don't have a Power T beside your name, think about hitting that join button. If you watch the videos, the content, the live stream, and you like what we do and you want to support this channel, that is the best way you can support, is by simply hitting the join button and saying, you know what, guys, I'm committed to this channel. I'm going to give you $1 a month for the content that is free and I don't have to pay a dime for. That $1 goes a long way. We would appreciate that support. Again, go check out the merchandise. Go check out the Patreon, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. We're going to be live next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, spring camp kickoff show. As always, live every Tuesday night playing EA Sports College Football. If you missed last Tuesday, we streamed for 6.5 hours, and it was a blast. So tune in Tuesday night. We'll be back Sunday night as well. I got a video coming your way bright and early tomorrow morning, so tune in for that. But that is going to do it for this one. For Coach, my name's Boogie. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.